All right, everybody, welcome back to Next to Nature this week with Dr. John Long. And this week, we're headed to the lake.
Yeah, a little bit.
It is that, I mean, well, it's almost any time of year if you really
Yeah.
want to make it fishing.
It really is, yeah. You can.
But
fish
most
anytime
people
of year.
connect summer with fishing.
That's right.
And
Right.
knowing what bait to have is oh so important before you go.
Right. It seemed you'd think it was just common sense, but a lot of times people don't realize that you can use different baits for different types of year, and then depending on what type of the time of day you're in, that makes a difference in what you choose. And all it basically is where the fish are in the water for certain times of the day. You can see oxygen content changes, and we can get into a whole mishmash of reasons why, but
Having and knowing which type of baits is important. So talk about that.
well, we talked about top water, and this is a top water bait. It's called a buzz bait, and basically when you pull it through the water, it buzzes, and it really mimics like a bait fish that's injured. This is a spinner bait, and this is basically a mid-water, mid-depth type bait. And then you have some of these other baits, such as this, which is a bait when you pull through the water. I don't know if that's picking that up, but
Yeah.
it rattles
Makes
and looks like a fish going through the water, and very realistic looking. So just different types of bait.
All right, one of the best baits that you can use is live bait.
Right.
We have worms in this case.
Naturally occurring bait.
That's
is what I
right.
say. And it's cheaper.
That's true. It is cheaper.
Yeah.
So when you start looking at live bait, what makes the fish like it maybe a little bit better?
A lot of it's smell, and a lot of it's when they hit it, they can feel it, and that makes them hold on a little longer. I think if you have a small hook like a brim hook, and they hit it, they first of all they can smell it. I think that it does emit an odor, but it has that live wiggling where you don't have to actually work the bait. It's under the water, and it's a cheap alternative to trying to use like artificial bait.
Yeah, no doubt.
In fact, I'd prefer it for small fish like brim.
All right. So, any other tips or tricks that you've learned over the years?
Learn how to fish the bait that you're using. A lot of times, people will get something and they think, well, I can just pull it through the water. That's not necessarily the case, and thank goodness we have the internet. You can go and look and see what the experts say. I'm not an expert, but what the experts say is the best bait to use, and how to use it. Like a spinner bait, there's a certain way that you can use a spinner bait. Plastic worm, a certain way you can do this. Several ways you can use a plastic worm, but just go and educate yourself. I think that's key.
And above all else, have fun.
Get out there and fish. You can't catch them at the house.
That's
so
true.
You need to get out there and fish. So.
And just remember also, after a long hot day on the lake, they call it fishing, not catching.
Yes, that is true. That is true. You can buy fish at the grocery store cheaper than you can fish, but you won't have as much fun. So.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks a lot, Dr. Long. Thank you for joining us this week on Next to Nature.